Okay, so I have not seen the Endgame, Avengers Endgame yet, but I'm hoping that this guy comes back to life. Spoiler alert. Um, so this is what I've been doing so far here. I would say about like 3 plus hours today working on this. Probably even longer, really. I kind of lost track of time, but you can see all the things that I did to in the demonstrations of this. In this hair, there's probably over, I would say there might be close to 1,000 lines in this hair. Okay, you can see that there's light spots, there's dark spots, and I really tried to pay attention closely to all these highlights, dark spots, light spots, different directions with the hair. And that hair took me, I'd say, a good 45 minutes. So it could take you a whole class just to do the hair. And again, I'm going to do this faster than you because I'm more used to this. You can see some really good, nice blending stick, subtle blending stick along the side of the nose here, and kind of blending that in. I'm going to kind of zoom in here so you guys can see it a little bit more. You can see me putting a little bit of blending stick, on the side of the face here. I think on this side of the face I need to get a little bit more blending, so I'm going to do that right now. I'm going to put some blending on the side of the face. Before I put any facial hair down, I put some blending down first with the blending stick. Okay, now I don't want to go too dark. I can always make it darker if I want to, but I'm just going to kind of go light for now. You might barely even be able to see this, but I'm pretty happy with the tone here. I would say it's like a 10% or even 5% on his face. I'm making it a little bit lighter than what you see here, but at least I'm doing something to kind of mimic what I see right there. Okay, so I'm putting that down, and now I'm ready to put in my facial hair. You can see I already did the mustache, did a little bit of this area right here. I need to add some more facial hair in this general region. He's definitely got some more facial hair going on there, and you can see this is kind of like pointillism. Now, I don't want to just make dots. That would be bad. I want to make it look like actual lines of hair. Okay, so I'm just going to kind of very lightly put in some lines here, and in pointillism you have to be conscious of, is it going to be dark or is it going to be light? So if it's dark, I want to put my lines closer together and maybe even press a little bit harder. And if it's lighter area, which it gets lighter as it kind of comes up here, I want to put less of them, and I want to be a little bit lighter with my pressure on my pencil. Okay, now it doesn't just go straight across like a straight across beard. It's kind of a little patchy here. So I'm looking at the picture as I'm doing this. It's not in the frame, but I'm just kind of going real light here. There's some darker spots, some lighter spots. Okay, but I'm putting some more facial hair in there and kind of making little tiny slashes. I call it, instead of pointillism, I kind of call it beardillism. Okay, but they're just kind of little tiny lines, and I know pretty much a lot of you guys are not capable of growing beards or facial hair yet, but when you do start growing facial hair, this is how it is. Okay, they're little tiny lines of hair. So I'm going over top of some of this area that I already shaded over here and putting in some more line work, and hopefully I'm making it look better than it does in the picture. I'm trying to make it look a little bit more detailed than it does in the picture. Okay, and I'll be around to kind of answer you guys' questions. I won't be there to actually help you with it physically, but if you do have a question about like what to do or something, you can have Miss Bramley contact me, and I'll get back to you on what advice I have for you. Okay, so that is the gist of facial hair. Another thing you want to add is like some darkness underneath the chin. Okay, add some darkness and then fade it out. Okay, fade it out as it comes down there. Okay, there's definitely some darkness underneath that chin, and it just kind of fades out. Looks like he's got a lot of stubble there, so I might just kind of come back and put like a little bit of texture in there with my pencil. But as you can see here, I want to see you guys using your value scale. I want you to get out your value scale, and I want you to make sure that you are using all of these shades in here. Okay, your 0, 20, 40, 60, 80, and 100. I know that's upside down, but I want to see all those shades in this area of your shirt. Okay, try to create subtle blends where it goes from dark to a little bit lighter, or it goes from super dark to a little bit lighter right there, or you have all these different shades there. Okay, you should have a ton of different shades there, and try and be, you know, very, very precise when showing those shades. Even if it doesn't show it in your picture, try and show many shades. If you look really closely, I know this might not be able to be seen, but there is a slight amount of cross hatching in there too that I tried to do. You can see a little bit of cross hatching right there. Something to try. If it doesn't turn out good, you can always erase it. But you know, this is going to take me another probably, I would say, let's say it's going to take me to do all the rest of this probably a good another 2 or 3 hours. So all told, this portrait's going to take me, you know, 7 hours, maybe 8 hours if I do the background too. Okay, so, but your finishing touches, okay, after you do all this and shading there, is going to be to add a nice little signature. I like to add your signature like along the shoulder line is a nice place, or at the bottom there. You can also frame off the picture with a ruler, okay, and make a nice frame around it. And my last finishing step is I like to bring back our value sphere, okay. I like to do this in the corners. So in the corner of my portrait, I'm gonna make a dark 100% curve, and then 80% curve, and then a 60% curve right there. I'm also gonna do the same thing on the other side. I'm gonna kind of reverse it. I'm gonna put my 100% right here, 80% right there, and a 60% right there. Okay, this kind of like halo effect, if I shade this in 100% darkness up here, so I'll do this real quick for you. And again, I'm doing a lot of this portrait with a mechanical pencil, and it's working out really good. I just like how precise you can be with it. So if you have a mechanical pencil, go with that. If you don't, you can just use a regular pencil too. Just make sure it's sharp. Okay, so I'm going 100% there. And then just like we did with our value sphere, okay, you had 100, 80, 60, and then you fade it out. You're gonna do the same thing in these corners. You gotta show me that you guys can do this. I wanna see this as your finishing step, or you gotta shade the background somehow. Okay, I might even go back and do some of this cool stuff that you see in the background there. I love it when kids going above and beyond with that. If you want to, you know, just shade the top there and then fade it to a little bit lighter there, I'm fine with that. If you want to add some color, some color into the background as well, you can add some color in the background, or if you want to add an element of color in the portrait itself, that's great. So definitely something to consider. So here's my 80%. Okay, and if I'm careful, I can just kind of like really maybe go from 100 to a 90, and I can just kind of make it fade out by hand without even using the blending stick. Okay, and then, you know, I'm just gonna kind of try and fade that out from here. I'm gonna erase this line right here, and I'm just gonna go from 100 to 80, and I'm just gonna kind of fade it out to my 60. Okay, using that side of the blending stick. And I'm gonna kind of curve it as I go here. Smoothing that out. Okay, that's definitely making it darker. Okay, and then I'm gonna kind of give it a little bit of that arched effect. And then you're getting that nice haloed effect, a little bit of darkness in the background is gonna contrast. But, you know, without this darkness here, this looks good, but adding that darkness makes all these lights look better, and you have to have contrast in your picture. So that's the portrait there for you guys. Okay, these are finishing touches, doing the corners. Do that, and make sure you do a nice display of value in the shirt and background area. All right, thank you guys.